Okay, so term 6 of year 7 is called Staying Alive. I'm going to start with the heart, and I'm going to go through this in terms of chambers. So we've got 4 chambers in the heart. We've got the right side is the left and the left side is the right. That's the big thing with the heart. Because as we look on this is going to be inside your body. So this is going to be your right atrium where the blood enters and it trickles down into the right ventricle. And on this side, we've got the left atrium where the blood comes in and the left ventricle. Now veins bring the blood in and arteries take the blood away. Now pulmonary links with lungs. So pulmonary artery takes blood away to the lungs and then it comes back in to the pulmonary vein. Goes out of the artery called the aorta. So this is going to be your oxygenated blood going around your body, and then it comes back into the vena cava, which is a vein. So the big thing to remember here is that deoxygenated is without oxygen and oxygenated is with oxygen. More on that in year 8. Electromagnetic waves was your lesson 2. So big thing to know is the order, and we can use red Martians invade Venus using X-ray guns to remind us of the order of radio waves, microwaves, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet, X-ray and gamma. And we need to know some uses of these. Lesson 3 was on photosynthesis, and the big thing here was to remember the word equation. And it's the complete opposite to the word equation for respiration. Because respiration is glucose plus oxygen is going to give you carbon dioxide plus water. But in photosynthesis, carbon dioxide plus water is going to give you glucose plus oxygen. And that's the great thing about photosynthesis. Why do they need glucose? Well, plants need glucose to make proteins for growth and repair, to make their cell walls, this stuff called cellulose, and obviously to make energy through the process of respiration. Lesson 4 was on competition. There's 2 types of competition, inter-specific and intra-specific. So the difference between them 2 is inter, between different species. So we can see some lions, we can see some monkeys, and they're all competing for food or land or shelter, whereas intra-specific is between the same species. Lesson 5 was touching on crude oil and how it can affect onto lesson 6 then. The environment. So crude oil, we need to know, is a mixture of hydrocarbons. What is a hydrocarbon? It's a compound made of hydrogen and carbon only. So the big thing about crude oil is that it's formed over millions of years from dead animals and plants. You need intense temperature and pressure to make crude oil, which is why we can't really make it anymore. And it is running out. So we're going to have to find other types of energy. On to lesson 6 then, we talked about non-renewable energy, and crude oil is a non-renewable energy. Oil, coal, natural gas are all fossils, fossil fuel. And then we've got nuclear then, which we also find, but it will run out. So non-renewable is eventually going to run out. It's fuel that we can't replenish. It says here non-renewable releases CO2 and SO2. That's not entirely true because nuclear doesn't release any pollutants, but these 3 will. So carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide are produced by these 3, which is not good for our atmosphere because it produces global warming and it heats up the earth. Lesson 7 then was on renewable energy. So it's never going to run out. We can always replenish because it's things like wind, energy from the sun, energy from the trees, energy from the earth, and then we can use water to generate electricity as well. There's no pollution and it's never going to run out. and that's in lesson 7. In year 8, you're going to look at some disadvantages as well. Lesson 8 then was another formula triangle, and this is the last one that you're going to learn in year 7. You've got power, which is measured in watts. We've got current, we've used this before, and we've got voltage, and we've used that before. We need to know that current is measured in amps and voltage in volts. And again, we can use this triangle. If I'm looking to calculate a current, I put my finger over I, and I can see that it's P over V, P divided by V. So I is going to equal P divided by V. I just replace the letters with the values, and I'm good to go. I use a calculator, and all is good. And that's term 6, staying alive.